This is one of the very important remedy for homesickness, especially in young girls. This is not our calcareous. They are so much emotionally attached to their past. This is not natromure. This is one of the very important remedy for dysentery, the mucoid bloody stool. This is not our mercurius, or this is not our rustox. This is not muriatic acid, or this is not nitric acid. Every stool is followed by thirst. This is not arsenic alb. Every stool is followed by thirst, and every thirst leading to shivering and shuddering. This is not citron, or this is not natromure. This is an excellent remedy for mastoiditis, especially the left-sided mastoid bone which is inflamed with a tendency for suppuration, with a tendency for necrosis. This is not caliodatum, this is not silesia, or this is not mercurius. This is one of the very important remedy for the throat infections. The throat is constricted feeling. There is a painful sensation in the throat as the pepper has been sprinkled over the throat. This is not belladonna. Pain between the act of deglutition. This is not ignatia. So this is a drug belongs to the family of Solanaceae, commonly called as pepper or cayenne pepper or capsicum. So we call it as a capsicum annum. Capsicum annum. As we all know, what is capsicum? Sometimes we call it as chilies, otherwise we call it as capsicum. They come with various shapes, various colors. In general, all of them belongs to the family of Solanaceae. We have several other medicines prepared from the Solanaceae family. Remedies like belladonna, stramonium, hyoscyamus, dulcamara, solanum nigrum, solanum tuberosum, potato, lycopersicum, tomato. If we see in general about Solanaceae family, they have a tendency for burning. Maybe whether it's a belladonna, whether it's a lycopersicum, whether it's a stramonium. Capsicum is also called as cayenne pepper. To prepare the medicine, ripe seed capsules with seeds are crushed into a powder, then it has been mixed with alcohol and medicines are prepared as per the pharmacopoeia. Capsicum annum is a native of America, but now it is found worldwide. You have all over the world distribution of capsicum. Even you can grow in your garden, you can grow in the big estates, anywhere this will grow. This remedy has been proved by Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. Capsicum is a genus of flowering plants in the nightshade family, so-called Solanaceae family, which is a native to the America, and it has been cultivated worldwide for the chili pepper or bell pepper fruits. Now let us see why the name capsicum and why the name annum. The generic name capsicum is derived from the Latin word capsa, which means a box. You might have seen the capsicum fruit. It is like a box-like fruit. Inside that many seeds are there, maybe of elongated one, maybe of round shaped or various shapes. So this derives from the Latin word capsa, which means a box. And sometimes from the Greek word capto, means to gulp, as if the seeds are being gulped by the outer cover. Although the species name annum, which means the annual, which is actually misnormal, because this plant is not an annual plant. Every year, every month, every season, and every season this fruit can be cultivated. and hence that annum is a misnomed. Fruits of capsicum can vary tremendously in their color, in their shape, in their size, and they varies within the different species. The fruits are berries that may be of green color, sometime yellow color, sometime orange color, sometime red color when they get ripened. Generally, Capsicum annum is productive in the warm and dry climates. Capsicum plants have variety of names depending on the place which they are belonging to. The more piquant or the more pungent varieties are commonly called as chili pepper, or simply we call it as chilies. Whereas the large, mild form is been called as a bell pepper, or by color it has been called as a green pepper, or green bell pepper, or red bell pepper, which is commonly used in salads. Especially in the country North America and South Africa, they call it as a bell pepper. We call it as a capsicum. Sweet pepper or simply pepper is been called in the United Kingdom, in Ireland and Malaysia. Whereas countries like Australia, New Zealand and India, the heatless varieties are called as capsicums. Whereas more hot ones or more spicy one, we call it as chili or chilies. There are around 20 to 27 species of capsicum. Capsinoid chemical that provides the distinctive taste for the Capsicum annum variants. The fruit of most species of capsicum contains an alkaloid called capsaicin, a lipophilic chemical that can produce a burning sensation or that can produce a pungent taste or that can produce a spiciness in the taste. The taste may last several hours, depends on the varieties of capsicum we consume. In this slide, you can see the various health benefits of capsicum. In general, capsicum boosts our metabolism, capsicum promotes our digestion, capsicum provides some kind of immunity, capsicum improves our eyesight, capsicum also prevents hypertension. Capsicum is been also used to treat some skin infections. Capsicum, which has been removes the signs of aging of the skin. Capsicum provides an antioxidants. Capsicum as an anti-inflammatory benefits. I have seen in olden times, I have seen even in the villages, the old ladies or the old man, general home remedies is a capsicum. They crush the capsicum and they make a paste and apply on the inflamed joints. And they feel that the joint pain will be relieved after applying a capsicum paste. I have seen some patients are coming and telling me, doctor, severe joint pain was there. I made a capsicum paste and all my swellings are disappeared of the knee. All my pains are disappeared. So it has that anti-inflammatory benefits. Capsicum is also good for the colon health, for the hair health. It also has the antibacterial property. So this is in short about the various health benefits of capsicum. Let us see the sphere of action of capsicum. As we all know, when we eat something very spicy, something very pungent, what will happen? We'll have so much burning in our tongue or burning in the oral cavity. There's a burning in the entire gastrointestinal tract. There is a burning while passing urine. There is a burning while passing motion. There is a burning in the skin. There is a watery discharge from the eyes. This is all we have experienced. In addition to that, it has got specific affinity to the mastoid bone. It also has got special action in general to the bones, mucous membranes, blood, throat, kidneys, intestines. It acts with great intensity on the mucous membranes and also on the bones. Severe inflammatory pain will produce on the face, on the bone, on the skin, on the mucous membranes. Generally, it has got action on the left side of the body, like we have many other left-sided remedies like Tucha, Lachesis, Colocynth. Extreme sensitivity to the cold and damp atmosphere, which most of the complaints are aggravated. So this is in short about the sphere of action of capsicum. We'll see for whom this capsicum is adapted. We have every drug as adapted to certain individuals. Some drugs are adapted to children, some drug adapted to thin people, some drug is adapted to the fat people, some drug adapted to the dark complexions, some drug is adapted to the females. So like that, so each drug has got some specific adaptability which will help us to understand the personality. In general, capsicum is mainly adapted to the people who are fat, who are flabby, who are relaxed and easily exhausted. The moment we say fat, flabby means our mind comes to the remedies like calcarea carb, the remedies like tuja, the remedies like graphitis. So in addition to that, we have another remedy is capsicum. Adapted to the people who are fat, flabby and who are indolent, who are so sluggish. Seems to suit the person who have a laxed fiber, who are individual who are more prone to plumpy, and they are round, they lack the stamina, they are so weak, they have general lack of vital heat. A relaxed, plethoric, sluggish, indolent type of individual who oppose any kind of physical exertion, typical to that of calcarea carb, typical to that of tuja, typical to that of graphitis. All are venous constitution remedies. They are happy with their routine life. They doesn't want something away from the routine life. So such individuals, this remedy is adapted. So adapted to the people who are fat, flabby, sluggish, plethoric, who doesn't like any kind of exertions. Generally, the complexion is light hair and blue eyes, which is very difficult to find in Indian population. Adapted to the people who are unclean, like our sulfur. Sulfur also a person who are venous constitution. Also adapted to the persons, especially the children who drop the things very easily. They have awkward disposition. Old people who have exhausted their vitality, especially by mental work. Kent describes beautifully adapted to the person who are flabby, who are red-faced children, especially of beer drinkers and pepper eaters. Pseudo plethoric he describes. They looks red but they are not the real congestion. So pseudo plethoric individual who are overstimulated, children who are overstimulated type of individuals, who are false plethoric like that of calcarea carb. Or he also mentioned that this is a remedy adapted to the school girls who have homesickness. These are the various adaptability of capsicum. Let us see what are the keynote indication of Capsicum annum, or let us see which are the commonest clinical indication of Capsicum annum. The first and the most important clinical indication of capsicum regarding the homesickness, which is very common. I have seen several cases of homesickness when we are in the institution, when we are with many students who come from the home and fall homesickness. It is very common when an institution where hostel is nearby and students will come for consultation with a genuine problem of homesickness. So this is an excellent remedy for homesickness, especially of those girls who are indolent and who are melancholic. Associated with red cheeks and sleeplessness. So homesickness associated with red cheeks and sleeplessness, and who are at the tendency to suicide. So such extreme variety of homesickness. So all these factors or cofactors are very essential for prescribing capsicum. It's a remedy for homesickness, especially who are very sluggish or indolent or who are melancholic girls who have red cheeks and they are sleeplessness with a tendency to commit suicide. There are several drugs or several medicines for homesickness. We have aurum metallicum, which is more of a syphilitic depression with loathing. We have belladonna. We have calcareophos associated with school-going children headache with homesickness. We have carbo animalis, causticum, clematis, drosera, eupatorium, hyoscyamus, ignatia, caliphos, lachesis, magnesium carb, nitric acid, pulsatilla, silesia, staphysagraria. So like that, the list goes on. If you open a repertory, type homesickness, you have got several remedies. But practically, we have only few remedies which are highly useful. Number one, we can think of calcareophos. Now, how to differentiate calcareophos homesickness and capsicum homesickness? As we all know, calcareophos is a remedy for the person who is lean, who have rickety, deformed spine or spine deformity, or the person who is very lean. Whereas in capsicum, the mainly adapted to the person who are sluggish, who are fat and flabby. In calcareophos, they have profuse head sweating, which is very sore, like that we don't see in capsicum. Here in calcareophos is mainly because of mental exertions. And as you know, calcareophos, the complaints or aggravation while thinking of it. So those are other modalities are there to differentiate calcareophos and capsicum. Whereas ignatia is typically hysterical phenomena. We have magnesium, which is more deep-seated, a kind of attachment. We have pulsatilla, is basically a person who is so much weepy, who wants company of parents and feel homesickness when he come to the college. So like that, the remedies are different. Here, homesickness associated with red cheeks and sleeplessness with disposed to suicide. That is the first indication of capsicum. Second indication, this is an excellent remedy for mastoiditis, inflammation of the mastoid bone. There is a swelling and pain behind the ears. There is inflammation of the mastoid. There is a tenderness over the petrous portion of the temporal bone. There is a tendency for mastoid abscess or otorrhea with mastoid diseases before suppuration. Or you can also think this remedy for caries of mastoid bone. So in general, it has got a special affinity to the mastoid bone, especially on the left side, with a tendency for caries, with a tendency for abscess, with severe redness, inflammation, burning, all those symptoms are there. For the mastoiditis, we have got several other drugs like aurum, like fluoric acid, hepasulf, nitric acid, silesia, kaliidatum, asafoetida. The remedies are many. Here, that mastoiditis, there is a redness, swelling in that fat, indolent individuals. Capsicum is also a remedy indicated for throat affinities or throat infections, maybe of tonsillitis, maybe of pharyngitis, maybe of diphtheria, which is almost eradicated. But anywhere something is a throat affinity. There's severe pain, there's a kind of dryness in the throat, the pain from the throat which is extending to the ear, like that of phytolacca, like that of conium. There is a sore throat, especially of smokers and drinkers. There's a kind of smarting type of pain. There's a kind of constriction in the throat. There's a kind of burning in the throat. But very important that these all are common symptoms. Every drug has got a throat pain. Every drug has got a dryness in the throat. Remedies like bryonia, phytolacca, everything has got that pain, dryness, and pain extend to the ear. But the characteristic difference is there's a pain between the act of deglutition. Throat pain when not swallowing. The person is swallowing, there is no pain. But when he is not swallowing, there is a throat pain. There is a throat pain between the act of deglutition, which is kind of you see in Ignatia. Throat pain when he is not swallowing. So that's how you can differentiate capsicum from other throat remedies. Another indication of capsicum, as we all know, capsicum has got a pungent taste, a kind of burning sensation. So that is a keenness. There's a burning type of pain throughout the body. We have several drugs for burning like arsenic alb, like phosphorus, medorinum, sickle-core, lachesis. The remedies are many. Sulfur. Here, burning pain which is aggravated by cold water. Normally when there is a burning, the people feel better by cold. But here, burning pain is aggravated by cold water and they are not better by warmth. There is excessive smarting and burning type of pain with much congestion of mucous membrane. There is a burning and smarting and congestion maybe of the anus, maybe of the rectum, maybe of the bladder, maybe of the throat, maybe of the mouth. As if a cayenne pepper has been sprinkled. It is not just burning as if a pepper has been sprinkled over the part. With constriction. There's a burning as if a pepper has been sprinkled over the urethra. Burning as if pepper has been sprinkled over the anus. You can imagine the severity of burning and qualification of the burning. Capsicum is also indicated to the persons who are awkwardness. They drop the things from their hand suddenly. Especially in children. Awkwardness, especially in children. There are various remedies for awkwardness. The remedies like agaricus, which is most of the time of a neurological phenomena associated with tremors, trembling. We have apis mellifica, which is associated with dropsy, with burning and stinging type of pain. We have bovista. Bovista is again a remedy for awkwardness, associated with the sweat which smells like an onion, with stringy discharges, with tendency for urticaria. You can think of bovista. Calcareca, awkwardness mainly because of their indolent nature, who are very sluggish, who doesn't want to do any exercise, so naturally things fall from their hand. Helleborus is again due to a neurological phenomena, maybe as a result of meningitis or encephalitis or epilepsy and tendency for awkwardness. We have lachesis because they doesn't like anything tight. They want to give up and they want to easily drop the things from their hand. Constriction, aggravation, that is lachesis. Natrum is mostly it is due to a kind of grief, a kind of sadness, a kind of depressions which leading to awkwardness. Ambergris is again a kind of leads to emotional causes. So this is how we can differentiate awkwardness of agaricus, apis, bovista, calcarea, helleborus, lachesis, natrum, ambergris. Here, awkwardness mainly in children, associated with people who are fatty, flabby, indolent. You can differentiate this remedy from other remedies. Capsicum is also a remedy for dipsomania. It's very easy to remember. Naturally, when we eat very spicy or pungent, we have a desire to drink water. And our thirst is not relieved. How much ever you drink, you feel like drinking more and more because this is so spicy. So that is a characteristic. Dipsomania, there's a much thirsty, but drinking causes a kind of shuddering. There's a drinking causes a kind of shivering, especially after stool. So that is a very characteristic of capsicum. There's a dipsomania with much thirsty, but drinking causes a kind of shuddering and shivering. For the thirsty remedies, we have several remedies. Bryonia, thirst for large quantity of water. We have arsenic, thirst for sips of water. Mercurius. So there are several drugs. Another peculiar indication of capsicum is regarding the constrictions. There's a constriction in the fauces, the constriction in the throat, constriction in the knees, constriction in the chest, constriction in the bladder, urethra, rectum. Everywhere the person feels constricted. Like our cactus. Cactus constriction especially over the heart region, especially over the chest region. Lachesis constriction especially over the neck. Cannot wear anything tight as though it has been constricted. Lilium tigrinum is again a constriction. Every part of the body associated with palpitation. So that's how we can differentiate constriction. Here, constriction every part of the body. Constriction while swallowing with a chronic hoarseness of voice, where you can think capsicum can be a choice of remedy. Another peculiar practical indication of capsicum annuum is regarding the dysentery. There are several remedies for dysentery. Remedies like aloes, remedies like colocynth, remedies like mercurius, remedies like naxomica, remedies like nitric acid, rustox, sulfur. Each one has got its own symptomatology. Here, peculiarity of capsicum is there's a bloody mucoid stool with burning and tenesmus associated with drawing pain in the back. I think this symptom you see in every drug. There's a burning will be there, there's a tenesmus is there. But peculiar modality of capsicum is every stool is followed by thirst and every drink is followed by shuddering. That means person will have severe dysentery with burning and tenesmus. Soon with the burning and tenesmus, with the stool, the person has got increased desire for thirst. Like a dipsomania. The person is keep on drinking. The moment he drink, he'll start getting shivering. The moment he drink, he'll be shivering. So that is a peculiarity. Every stool is followed by thirst and every drink is followed by shuddering. That is a unique symptom of capsicum. Now aloes, we all know that aloes has got jelly-like stool associated with maybe hemorrhoids. Colocynth, we have severe left-sided pain. Mercurius is again a offensive discharge with profuse sweating, as if the scraping of intestine, and the pain is aggravation at night. Naxomica with ineffectual urging for stool, with a tendency for alcoholics. Sulfur with burning, with empty organ sensation. This is how we can differentiate dysentery of aloes, colocynth, mercurius, naxomica, sulfur. Here, the dysentery is associated with thirst and every thirst associated with shuddering. Another indication of capsicum is regarding the strangury, a kind of burning micturition which is highly intensified, where there's a person will have frequent and almost ineffectual urging for urination. Just like the pepper has been sprinkled at the urethra, there is a severe burning type of pain, as if a pepper has been sprinkled over the urethra. The burning pain may be there throughout the urination, before urination, during urination and after urination, like our cantharis. There's an intense burning along the urethral canal, like our sulfur, like our sarsaparilla. Comes first in drop, later on the urine will be spurting. You need to differentiate cantharis, you need to differentiate mercor, you need to differentiate belladonna, you need to differentiate epis. Epis, the person has got increased urging for urination. he or she cannot retain a single drop of urine in the bladder. The moment the urine collects in the bladder, she has to go with puffiness of the face, with thirstless. Here, thirsty. Here, burning, which is further qualified as though pepper has been sprinkled. And the burning is throughout, like Cantaris. Capsicum Annuum is also indicated for gonorrhea and effects of gonorrhea. Here, gonorrhea with cordy. Cordy means curved penis. There are several remedies for gonorrhea. The remedies like Argentum nitricum, Cantharis, Mercurius, Naxomica, Phosphorus, Medoranum, Agnus, Cannabis sativa. So each drug has got its own modality to differentiate. Here, gonorrhea with cordy, with coldness of scrotum, with a tendency for impotency and atrophied testicles. We have several drugs for impotency, and we have got several drugs for atrophied testicles like Annuum. Coldness of the genitalia like Agnus, so which is a big topic to discuss. We'll conclude this is one of the remedy for gonorrhea with cordy, with coldness of the genitalia, with a tendency for impotency and atrophied testicles. Capsicum is also another important remedy for intermittent fever, which is very rarely prescribed, but it is a remedy for intermittent fever like malaria. The chill stage is predominant. Chills runs in the back, especially the chill starts in the back like our gelsemium, or the chill between the shoulder blades with great thirst. As we all know that thirst is like a dipsomania. Thirst for cold water during the chill stage and during the heat stage with shivering after every drink. That is a very peculiarity. Intermittent fever, maybe of malaria fever, whether it's a chill runs in the back, associated with intense thirst in every stages of fever, but drinking causes shivering and shuddering. Now we need to differentiate other remedies for intermittent fever, like gelsemium. Gelsemium also an excellent remedy for flu or intermittent fever, where the chills runs up and down in the back, especially in the spine. In gelsemium is generally thirstless, here thirsty. We have eupatorium, again a remedy for severe bone pain with intermittent fever. But in eupatorium there is a thirst before the chill stage, and drinking water causes nausea and vomiting. Another remedy is a citron. A citron is again a remedy for intermittent fever with a clock-like periodicity. So each one has got its own modality to differentiate. So this is also one of the remedy for intermittent fever, especially associated with the burning, associated with the constriction, associated with the dysentery. With thirst. Thirst makes the difference of this remedy from the other remedies. Capsicum is also a very important remedy for the people who have craving for stimulants. You all know the person who is drinking, he needs something very spicy. Every alcoholics, mostly when they drink, they want some pickle, something very pungent, something spice. So similarly, capsicum is a remedy for the people who have intense craving for alcohol, craving for stimulants, like our Naxomica, like our sulfuric acid, like our sulfur, like our SRM, like our Crotalus viridis. And we can differentiate based on the constitution features, like Naxomica is highly irritable, highly impulsive. The person is very industrious. So such people you can think Naxomica. But you must think that capsicum is also one of the important remedy for the person who has intense craving for stimulants. Another important symptom of capsicum is regarding the cough. The pain is felt in the distant part while coughing. Person is coughing and is getting a pain in the knee joint, or the person is coughing and is getting a pain in the toes. So while coughing, the pain is felt in the distant part. Cough associated with constriction, maybe cough associated with the bladder pain. Every explosive cough, there is a involuntary escape of pungent, fetid air. So that is the concomitant. So cough with the pain which felt in the distant part, like diascoria. Diascoria is also as a remedy where the pain, but pain is felt in the distant part. Cough associated with escape of volume of pungent, fetid air. So this is the peculiarity of capsicum cough. Capsicum can be thought as a remedy for the people who are allergic to chilies. We will try to understand the capsicum personality, the mind of capsicum. This is a remedy, as we all know, a remedy especially for the people who are very fat, people who are very flabby, people who are very plethoric, people who are pseudo plethoric, people who are very sluggish. They doesn't like any kind of exertions. They are happy with their routine work. They doesn't want something new. People who are mentally prostrated, they are homesick. They have a strong emotion. However, what is truly strange about capsicum is that they are emotionally attached. We have several drugs for emotional attachments like natrum, like ignatia, like calicab. They focus on their past. They frequently experience profound nostalgia, whereas in natrum is mostly of one-to-one relation. Ignatia is more of one-to-one relation, whereas capsicum is related to the home environment. They are happy about their past. They have profound nostalgia about their past. These feelings of nostalgia may be so strong as to overwhelm them. They may suffer so much from their sense of separation from the past that they believe that they will die from the sorrow and nostalgia. Nostalgia about the past is so intensified that can bring the fever also. Such feelings represent a homesickness of capsicum. That is the key of capsicum personality. If at all you encounter any such patient who are homesickness with red cheeks, with sleeplessness, then definitely you must prescribe capsicum. You should not hesitate to think other remedies. Sleeplessness due to homesickness is a strong characteristic of capsicum. They seem to live totally in the past, their childhood and other pleasant past moments. They are having that nostalgic feeling. That is a peculiarity of capsicum individuals. Now, how to differentiate calicab in the emotional attachment, or how to differentiate natrum and how to differentiate ignatia? Calicab personalities are the people who are very strong personality. They have got strong attachment to the family. They are the people who are very punctual. They are the people who are very hardworking. They are the people who have some kind of goal, like our Naxomica. But opposite of that you see in capsicum. Capsicum is a very fat, flabby, indolent, who are very sluggish. But calicab is not like that, just opposite. They are highly enthusiastic. They are highly irritable. They cannot tolerate injustice like our causticum. Right means right and wrong means wrong. There is no compromise. That is calicab. Such characteristics you don't see in capsicum. That's how you can differentiate capsicum emotional attachment and that of calicab. Whereas natrum and ignatia is more of romantic relations, more of romantic attachments. Ignatia is more of acute and natrum is more of chronic. Coming further to the capsicum personality, as a matter of fact, they love routine works. They doesn't like something new. They hate anything unexpected. They hate all kind of exercises and all efforts. whether it's in the mental level or whether in the physical level, they don't like that of calcare carp, that of tuja, like that of graphitis. They are not fond of cleanliness like sulfur. During this second stage of capsicum can become a physically awkward because of this nature. They doesn't like exercise. As long as routine work, they are fine. Anything exercise, anything leading to the second stage, that they suddenly drop the things, like that of Apis, like that of Agaricus, like that of Bovista. Agaricus, it is more of neurological phenomena. As a result of tremors, they'll drop the things. In Apis, as a result of burning and stinging pain, as a result of edema in the hand, they'll drop the things. Bovista associated with urticaria and stringy discharge, you can differentiate. Here is more of mental nature leading to awkwardness. They so much think about their past homesickness and they drop the things. Capsicum people may also develop a tremendous anxiety and they feel that they are incapable of doing things. A kind of insecurity feeling. They are oversensitive to the impressions. They always look for an insult. They are always looking for a kind of offense, like that of Staphysagria. They are always suspicious that something bad is going to happen. They are always suspicious of an insult. You need to differentiate Staphysagria. You need to differentiate a kind of insecurity feeling, other remedies like natrum. You need to differentiate gelsemium. Each one has got its own other accompanying symptoms to differentiate. Further continuing about capsicum personality, they always think something negative is going to happen. They realize their limitation because they cannot exert like others. They are so sluggish and slow. So they know that their limitations, they cannot do the things, they cannot fulfill the desires of others. They have a fear that they cannot achieve their goals, and that leading to a kind of insomnia. Associated with homesickness, thinking about the past good things, associated with their indolent nature, that they are unable to achieve the goals. This leading to a constant anxiety, this leading to a constant depression. They suffer from sadness, they suffer from mental depression with a suicidal thoughts. This is how the mental state progresses in capsicum. He does not want to kill himself, but he resists the thoughts. But that repeats because of his various reasons. He is tormented by these thoughts. To overcome from these thoughts, he has the desire to stimulants. He would like to take coffee. He would like to take beer, whiskey, and he even wants too much spicy food. They get some kind of joy by eating salt. This is how the mental state phenomena of capsicum, which progresses from a state of homesickness, a state of indolent nature, a state of laziness, a state of always anticipating kind of insult, a state of realizing his limitations, which leading to insomnia, which leading to a suicidal thoughts associated with depression and anxiety, associated with the tendency for stimulants. This is how the mental state progresses in capsicum. Capsicum personalities are also a capricious nature, especially in children. One moment he is so jovial, laughing and singing, and next moment he get angry from the slightest cause and leading to weeping. Especially you might have seen this behavior in children who are very happy and jovial, laughing, singing, and next moment they become weeping. The main reason is they are indolent, they are so sluggish, and they demand many things. He takes offenses at trifles and finds fault with others and with their malicious behavior. If someone offers him something, he will straight away refuse. even though he may have wanted it in the earlier, like our chamomilla, like our senna. The children who are very peevish, irritable, who are very angry, and who are easily offended. Now, how to differentiate senna, how to differentiate chamomilla, and how to differentiate from capsicum? Based on the characteristic symptoms of chamomilla is a hot patient. Mostly during the time of dentition, the child becomes very irritable, peevish. Generally, a chamomilla child is highly irritable, associated with green colored stool. Whereas senna is the child jumps from person to person, especially with worm infestation. The child wants to lie on the abdomen with constantly boring the nose with the finger. Here, the child is slowly indolent. The child is very fat and flabby. Child with a capricious behavior. Child has got a malicious behavior, wants many things and refuses, even though he wanted it in the earlier. So such children, you may also think capsicum could be a choice of your remedy. Regarding the elements from alcohol or element from stimulants, element from gonorrhea, element from chilies, element from fever, element from homesickness, or element from stimulants, generally aggravated in the evening time, aggravation after eating, aggravation after drinking because drinking causes shuddering and shivering, aggravation when beginning to move, and also aggravation in the open air and from uncovering. They are generally ameliorated after having moved for some time, and also amelioration from heat. Regarding the potency selection, you can think of any potency 30, 200, 1M, 10M. Dr. Boric has mentioned in delirium tremens, a dram doses of tincture in the milk or tincture in an orange peel can be given for delirium tremens. Regarding the clinical indication, capsicum is a remedy you can think in homesickness. You can think in case of alcoholics. You can think of homesickness. You can think of intermittent fevers. You can think of gonorrhea. You can think of in dysentery. You can also think in strangury or urinary tract infection. You can think of a person who will drop the things from their hand. You can also think for the person who is having a throat infections or throat pain. You can especially, and you must think in disease of the mastoid bone. This is in short about the capsicum.